Boom. Longhorns grab a commitment. I literally boom. It's like a California earthquake. Aaron Butler, wide receiver out of Calabasas, California, has committed to Texas. He becomes the latest commitment to the University of Texas. 6 foot, 170-pound wide receiver out of Calabasas. He has been committed previously to USC as well as Colorado. USC originally recruited him as a defensive back. He's wanting to play offense. Colorado had him committed. He's also visited Alabama, has scholarships offers from Alabama, Georgia. But Steve Sarkisian reaches into his bag of tricks and pulls out a commitment from Aaron Butler. Quite the pickup this late in the game. Butler, like so many others in this recruiting class, is also a midterm enrollee. That will make 18 of the 23 pledges or 23 signees that are midterm enrollees for the Longhorns. Just absolutely incredible. Some more information on Butler. He only played in 4 games as a senior, but it was very, very productive 4 games. 28 catches, 586 yards. That's a big play receiver, guys. 20.9 yards per catch, 5 touchdowns, including a long of 90 yards. So he has long speed. Also, as a junior, this is even more production. 38 catches, 830 yards, 21.8 yards per catch with 13 touchdowns. That's why he's one of the top players in the state of California, ranked number 16 overall in the state of California in the On3 consensus, number 179 by On3 overall nationally. So Texas clearly getting an elite player here in Aaron Butler out of Calabasas. A couple other notes. His dad, Rob Devon, is a former NFL player who is also currently on staff at Calabasas. I talked to a couple people out west yesterday trying to follow this recruitment a little bit since Butler is a late name to Texas Longhorn fans. He originally committed to USC, and he was thought to be one of the top 2 or 3 defensive backs. You'll see his video on his video how well he closes on the ball and some of his highlight video. There's no doubt that he could be a elite defensive back, but he wants to play offense. His dad earlier this week really started singing the praises of Steve Sarkisian. This would be a young man that did not visit either unofficially or officially the University of Texas before signing with Texas. A lot of that has to do with the dad and his understanding of what Steve Sarkisian brings to the table as an offensive coordinator and what his son fits. Like I said, his dad, a former NFL player. It's another stamp of approval for Steve Sarkisian with former NFL players and coaches. I mean, Adrian Wilson and Santana Wilson, Arch Manning last year. You look at, I know this is different, but Kobe Black, whose dad played at Kansas State and then has another son playing at Oklahoma State. These guys that have NFL credibility, et cetera, they continue to pick Texas over some pretty big names in college football right now. This is another one that does exactly that. 21.93 as far as speed for Aaron Butler, 21.93 in the 200-meter. I think one of the things about him, though, is that he maximizes yards after catch. You can watch on the video here, and he is an absolutely electric guy after the catch. So he's a guy not unlike Xavier Worthy that can put on the Jets a little bit post-catch. I go back to that play for Xavier Worthy that he had against Wyoming, where he caught the ball at the beginning of the fourth quarter and just kind of eliminated the angle. That's what young man Aaron Butler can do, in my opinion, for Texas as well, if he indeed ends up playing a bunch, et cetera. But I look at this, and this is a wide receiver class now that is getting some numbers added to it. Not only Aaron Butler, but you add Parker Livingstone, you add Freddie DeBose Jr. as well, and then you have Ryan Wingo, the absolute blue chipper out of St. Louis, Missouri, on top of Matthew Golden, young man that's a wide receiver portal candidate, or portal entry from the University of Houston, originally from Klein Kang. Texas trying to remake that wide receiver room right now if you look at the guys that are leaving, and I'm not just talking about Jordan Whittington or Adonai Mitchell or Xavier Worthy. I'm also talking about guys like Isaiah Nayor, who's entered the portal, Casey Kane, who has entered the portal and now committed to UNLV, but remains with the team through the national championship playoffs. You look at all of that, Texas combing together right now a new wave of receivers for Steve Sarkisian, Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning, those guys to use at their disposal. A couple other notes that I would say on Butler that are necessary. 6 foot 170. He is a slight of build guy, but he's not slight. He doesn't play it. If you notice on film, he plays through contact all the time. Does not shy from contact. There's some film out there of him just exclusively on defense. He is very physical, very, very physical. So he doesn't mind throwing his body around, even though he's not the biggest guy in the room, right? And so watch for that whenever you watch him as well. I thought about this. Who are some other guys that I remember that committed to Texas or signed with Texas without ever visiting? One of them is a pretty good name, and that's P.J. Locke. If y'all remember him being as Beaumont, and Texas flipped him on signing day from Oregon. The issue here is really quite simple. That change came at the last minute, just like this. And the other issue that I felt was important there is PJ Locke turned out to be one of the better players, and it remains in the NFL right now. A lot of these late flips have a way of being big. There's a reason. I'll put it this way. There is a reason coaches like Steve Sarkisian, Kellen DeBoer at Washington, who really, I think, finished second in this recruitment to Texas. There's a reason why they fight for these guys to the very end. And it's not because they're just another guy. It's because it's worth the effort, right? Another interesting point. Texas did not really pick up its recruitment here of Aaron Butler until very late in the game. Chris Jackson, who is from California, played at Mater Dei High School, Washington State, then played in the NFL. Also has been a coach in the NFL. He was making his trek through California, made a home visit last week with Aaron Butler. Texas didn't know Aaron Butler was necessarily going to be available or be interested this late in the game. But since that time, Steve Sarkisian's been talking to Aaron Butler and his father daily. So there is a reason that this is kind of maneuvering around the ties to Southern California for Steve Sarkisian. His dad, Rob Devon Butler, has talked about that. They know her and familiar with what Sark has done out there and the receivers he's had, et cetera. I look at this and I just look, this is at some level, it's Texas flexing a little bit on other teams because there's not a handful of teams that could come in this late and get a top 200 player in the country. And he may be actually better than that. Number 16 player in the state of California. I would argue he's higher rated than that, given the fact that he's got Bama, Georgia, Colorado, USC offers, all these schools that we know picked from the very best of the crop. But another aspect, and I talked about this briefly, he makes 18 of the 23 commitments that will be involved at the midterm. If you add the 2 portal transfers that have announced at the time of this recording, that makes 20 midterm guys coming in January. That is just absolutely unheard of. I don't know. I literally don't know of a time when you didn't have, back when you had junior college recruiting and they could all come in at midterm. Maybe Bill Snyder had some 20+ classes of midterm enrollees, but getting these guys in 6 months early, it's invaluable. They understand the speed of the game. They're not shocked by it. They get over the chance of having freshman legs and hitting the freshman wall. Think about the Texas guys that enrolled early. They didn't hit the freshman wall. Anthony Hill didn't. Malik Muhammad. Those guys didn't hit the freshman wall, and I think that's partially because they were already used to the grind in the springtime because they entered early. So, look, big one. Like I said, California earthquake. Did not expect this. A week ago, I couldn't have told you that Texas was even interested in Aaron Butler, but I think that meeting with Chris Jackson last week really changed the tide and got not only Aaron Butler, but his dad to start looking more strongly at Texas. And the Longhorns pick up just an absolutely huge commitment and signee from Calabasas, California. That's Aaron Butler. Look, we'll be following it more here on Texas football. But Aaron Butler, young man, hook him.